All right, guys, I finally present to you the big 100 System Test 100. We have old Honeywell voice evac, so let's go ahead and get started.
Welcome to Black Lightning 4547. I'm your host, Devin. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content for your eyes. Make sure you impale the notification bell. Thank you for viewing the channel, and I hope all is well.
All right, so like the theme suggests, we have older Honeywell devices and this voice evac. So without further ado, let's go ahead and showcase the devices. On the ceiling, we have nothing for notification appliances, just the true alarm smoke detector like usual. On the wall, we have a Wheelock VLPS 24W with a Wheelock ET1010R vandal resistant remote speaker. Being an ET, it does go up to 8 watts. It is set on 8 watts, however, the amplifier is turned down. And the strobe plate is a real thing. This is an actual strobe plate. This strobe plate actually came off the 46T 4-wire Bell strobe. So it's not actually a new device to my collection. I just ripped this strobe plate off the Bell. And so, yeah. And yes, I did flip the strobe lens so it's on the top instead of the bottom. Usually they come on the bottom only. But yeah, like I said, it's a VLPS, which has a WS strobe. They did make these with the red lens as well. That will be the VLPS 24R. And so W is insinuating that it has a white lens, the glazed lens, like you guys are used to. Like I said, WS, so it's a 1.5 candela. But yeah, we have that there. So pretty cool. In my closet, we have the WST24 1.5 candela remote strobe. Like I said, WS strobe. For the pull station in my room, we have the Honeywell S464A 1128 singular action pull station. And yeah, like I said, this is actually pretty huge pull stations, all metal. They actually did make these in plastic as well, which is a lot more rare than this one is. And also, I believe they made these with the lift cover as well. But obviously, this is just your standard S464A 1128. And so, yeah, so that's there. So, obviously, carbon monoxide. We have the same pull station as my bedroom. Carbon monoxide alarms are the same. However, I did change these to be remote strobes, so I just rewired it to be strobe only. So no sound or no horn. And I did that because, like I said, we have a voice evac set up, and the carbon monoxide is actually tied with the voice evac. And so I'll demonstrate that later. Out here, we have a VLPH 24W, and then another ET1010R remote speaker, vandal resistant, 8 watts. VLPH, so it's the WH strobe instead of the WS, so it's 15 candela instead of the 1.5 candela. And like I said, W, so it has the glazed white lens on it. And like I said, they did make these with the RH strobe, which is the red lens with the higher candela. So, but yeah, that's there. The gym, we have the same pull station and then the same combo as my room. So this is the VLPS. And then, yeah, same true alarm and stuff. So that's that. All right, so we're downstairs by the window, and what I have is a Wheelock ET1010 WS24. So it has the WS strobe, 1.5 candela, and the same ET1010 speaker, pretty much. But yeah, this is a speaker strobe unit. Same carbon monoxide horn strobe, Amsico, but it's also set to remote strobe this time. And then we have the same ET1010 WS24. This one is newer. This one is 1991. The one over there is 1986, I believe. Yeah. You could say there's a little bit differences with like the grill, the font on the strobe and stuff. But yeah, like I said, WS strobe 1.5 candela, set on 8 watts. And then like I said, the quick connects down here are the same. I did actually had to replace the smoke alarm down here because I had a malfunction, and so replaced that with a SMI 100 AC, I believe, first alert. And so yeah, same annunciator obviously. And then for the pull station down here, we have a Firelight BG6. Yeah, so yep, single action, all metal, very old school. Yeah, and then obviously the carbon monoxide, and then the heat detector, and then the quick connect in the by the storage. So lastly, we're in the garage, and what we have is another Firelight BG6, and yes, it is flush mounted, no back box behind it though. And I flush mounted it just because pretty much the anchors for the back box, the drywall around it was pretty worn out, and so it wasn't holding the back box in a stable fashion. So I just went ahead and did it, and I just enlarged the hole, and then was able to fit the pull station in that hole. And so yeah, like I said, no back box, so it's not advised to do it like this, but since it's low voltage, it's fine. Same carbon monoxide setup, but like I said, it's set to remote strobe. And then for the wall fire alarm, we have a Wheelock WH3T24FR 15 candela remote strobe, weatherproof. And so yeah, so it has the WH strobe on it. And then same heat detectors, the system sensor 5602. And then we have the Wheelock ET1010R on the ceiling, remote speaker, vandal resistant, like I said, 8 watts. And then the same Chemtronics 622 heat detector. So that's the system. So yeah, I know I said Honeywell, but these are Wheelock devices. But keep in mind that Honeywell did rebrand some of these Wheelock devices. So yeah. So, but yeah, these are genuine Wheelock devices. All right. So without further ado, let's get the system test on the road. So you guys are probably wondering what the Evacs is set to. Well, actually, I'm not even using the Evacs. I'm using my homemade voice evac panel. So part of the reason why the system test took so long is I actually did rebuild this from the ground up. So this is not even the same board that you guys saw in the New Year's sound off. I rebuilt it from scratch. It now has an isolation relay between the main power supply and the backup batteries, which we do have backup batteries for this thing. And so yeah, like I said, it's a DRP VEP 200, so it's a 200 watt voice evac panel. And yeah, so this is pretty much what the terminal pinout and stuff, the schematic for it. And then so yeah, kind of go over it a little bit. So as you can see, like it has the speaker circuit, which it is supervised by a 4.7 k ohm end alarm resistor. Then next we have the fire alarm end alarm resistor for the panel. And so what this does is like I said, since this is supervised, if there's a trouble on this panel, it will cut the path to the end alarm resistor, which will throw the 4010 in trouble. So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. And then we have the fire alarm trigger and the carbon monoxide trigger, which are just attached to the relays on the 4010. And those are also supervised by 4.7 k ohm resistors. Then, like I said, we have 3 buttons, as you can see right there, for all call for the mic. So yes, there is a button on the actual mic itself, but to actually trigger it, you have to press all call, press and hold. And then we have the all clear message, and then test the system message right here. So we have the red button and then the green button. So you just hold those to play the all clear in the testing system. And then down here, obviously, we have the main power for the power supplies. And so, yeah, like I said, under that step up, there's a relay, isolation relay. So like I said, right now is power off of the power supply, but if power is lost, it will just automatically go to normally close, which is the batteries, and then it will be powered off the batteries. Like I said, backup batteries, so that's where the batteries are hooked up to this terminal right there. And then, as you can see, this whole thing is ran by a Arduino Nano microcontroller. And then we have the DF Player Mini, which uses serial communication to play the messages and all the tones and stuff. We have 2 12 position switches, and the top one is for the tones, and then the bottom one is the messages. So you can just select any message that you want. And then we have 3 dip switches down there, which goes to here. So 1 and 2 is your configuration. So pretty much both of them off, it will play the tone and the message 3 to 4 times, and then the tone will play infinitely. And then there's dip switch 1 off, and then dip switch 2 on is tone, message, tone, message, tone, message. So we'll just go back and forth between the tone and the message. And then dip switch 1 on, and then dip switch 2 off is tone only, and then both dip switches 1 and 2 on is message only. So we only play the message. And then the last one, dip switch, is the walk test mode, and so it will just play the tone continuously behind the scenes until the panel triggers, and then it will broadcast the tone through the speakers and stuff like that. And so, yeah, and so speaking of tones and messages, this is what I have right now for all the tones. So fire tones, and then fire messages, then the carbon monoxide tones and messages, and then the walk test tones. And so we have all of that there. And so, yeah, so we have that, and then we can kind of show you what the batteries are. So, yeah, we have 2 12-volt, I believe 7 amp hour batteries, and so these are wired in parallel, not in series, and so all it does is still 12 volts, but the amperage gets step up to 14 amp hours instead of the 7. If it was wired in series, then you will have 24 volts DC, but only 7 amp hours, and this only calls for pretty much a 12 volt system. And then up there you can see like pretty much what the batteries are voltage is, and that's just an external relay cutoff. And so if the charger, which yes, this is the charger right here for the batteries, if these batteries get overcharged, but I believe it's currently set to 15 volts, it will disconnect the charger, so we don't have over voltage to the batteries. So, but yeah, that's that. And yeah, so what I have set to right now, I have it both switches set on 12, which is, I believe it's the Honeywell FS90 panel, and then we have the Honeywell FS90 message. So, but before, let me actually show you the testing message, what it sounds like.
Your attention, please. We will be conducting a test of the fire alarm system. Please disregard all signals until further notice. This is only a test. We will be conducting a test of the fire alarm system. Please disregard all signals until further notice. This is only a test.
And then we could also use the mic.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Once again, this is only a test. This is only a test. Please disregard all signals until further notice.
Alright, so we're going to just start off with the Honeywell S464A 1128 in my bedroom. And right now, like I said, it's currently set to the high-pitch Honeywell FS90 with the FS90 message, which is not an exact replica. I had to do text-to-speech. Like I said, the ones on YouTube are pretty low quality and stuff, so sometimes you just have to compensate. But, yeah.
May I have your attention? Please exit the building using the dedicated fire exit or your area, unless otherwise instructed. May I have your attention? Please exit the building using the dedicated fire exit or your area, unless otherwise instructed. May I have your attention? Please exit the building using the dedicated fire exit or your area, unless otherwise instructed.
Oh, yeah. That's a loud tone, man. But yeah, as you saw, like, it plays the tone, and it does the message 3 times, and then it goes back to the tone until you silence it. And so that's how it's configured right now. But like I said, you can change the configurability on it. But yeah, so that's that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do the other Honeywell FS90 tone, which that has the DTMF tone at the end of it. You guys will know what I'm talking about. So we're gonna change that to position 11. We're gonna reset that, and then yeah. So we're gonna keep it the same message. So. Yep, that's still active. We'll reset it afterwards. So let's go ahead and start. I think I might pull the BG6 downstairs. So.
May I have your attention? Please exit the building using the dedicated fire exit or your area, unless otherwise instructed. May I have your attention? Please exit the building using the dedicated fire exit or your area, unless otherwise instructed. May I have your attention? Please exit the building using the dedicated fire exit or your area, unless otherwise instructed.
Yeah, that's pretty loud tone too. So, but yep, as you can see, I forgot to mention the indicator. So obviously this is a power light, uh, which it doesn't matter if it's on backup batteries or the main power supply. As long as this thing has power, that LED is on. And then we have both the alarm and the trouble light. So when it's an alarm, it will be solid. When it's in trouble, it will blink every half second. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. And obviously, like I said, I forgot to mention this is a SD, micro SD, like I said, MP3 player module. But yeah, I think the last thing we'll do is we'll do Wheelock. So we'll do, let's see, the Wheelock SafePath horn, which is position 10, and then the Wheelock message, which is also position 10. And then we'll reset that. And so I only have to reset it just so it can go into tone immediately. If you just turn the dials without hitting reset, sure, it'll change, but it won't change like immediately. It will still play the previous tone that you had set. But like after a few or a couple of rounds, then it will change to the current setting. So, but yeah, like I said, being Arduino, I can always program and change things around and things like that. Oh yeah, so we can also change the configuration. We'll flip that on, so we'll have tone message now. And maybe make sure we reset that so it does that. So yeah. So now we have our Wheelock message and horn, the SafePath. So I think lastly, actually, it'll be last for the fire alarm portion, but I'll also show you guys the carbon monoxide portion as well and what it does with carbon monoxide. And of course, I got to reset all the pull stations. So, but yeah, lastly, was pulled this BG6.
May I have your attention, please? A fire emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building by the nearest exit. May I have your attention, please? A fire emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building by the nearest exit. May I have your attention, please? A fire emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building by the nearest exit. May I have your attention, please? A fire emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building by the nearest exit. May I have your attention, please? A fire emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building by the nearest exit.
It's pretty loud in here.
May I have your attention, please? A fire emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building by the nearest exit. May I have your attention, please? A fire emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building by the nearest exit.
there's that. So, yeah, pretty cool. And then, just to demonstrate carbon monoxide real quick, and then we'll reset all the pull stations, and then we'll call it a video. It's going to be a long video, of course, because we had a lot to cover, so I hope you guys don't mind.
May I have your attention, please? An emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building and report to the designated assembly area for your group.
So as you can see, it's playing the carbon monoxide tone through the speakers. Strobe only.
May I have your attention, please? An emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building and report to the designated assembly area for your group. May I have your attention, please? An emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building and report to the designated assembly area for your group.
Like I said, no fire alarm strobes because it's not a fire condition.
May I have your attention, please? An emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building and report to the designated assembly area for your group. May I have your attention, please? An emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building and report to the designated assembly area for your group. May I have your attention, please? An emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building and report to the designated assembly area for your group.
Like I said, no strobe.
May I have your attention, please? An emergency has been reported in the building. While this is being verified, please leave the building and report to the designated assembly area for your group.
There we go. So that's that. So, pretty cool stuff. And then, let's demonstrate the all clear message real quick.
Your attention, please. The emergency condition has ended. You may resume to your normal activities. Your attention, please. The emergency condition has ended. You may resume to your normal activities.
Alright, so the last thing we have to do is just reset all the pull stations. Alright, there's all the pull stations reset. Alright, now it's finally time to reset the system. And there's that. So that will be System Test 100, guys. Like I said, I'm sorry it took so long, but between rebuilding the voice evac panel and, you know, my part-time coaching job at my local college, like, it's been a little bit busy. But yeah, so hopefully the next system test won't take months on end. But I'm not going to promise anything because it can. But yeah, that's System Test 100, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's been your boy Black Lightning 4547. Take care and have a good one. I'm out.